this world we live in, sometimes it takes a life-changing moment to bring everything into clearer focus. Just ask senior track and field thrower Alexis Dickerson.
I knew I wanted to teach film, but the idea of being an actual PhD holding professor really came into play last spring because I had a film professor, Dr. Hannah Frank, who in my mind kind of changed the game for me when it came to teaching and looking at movies. I started my paper in her class for a capstone project, and then she passed away in the fall. She's definitely, when I think of my career as a film scholar, you know, even though we knew each other for like 6 months, she completely changed my whole direction of where I wanted to take my film career.
It's been a long, winding journey for this vibrant personality from Elon, North Carolina, one that started 4 years ago when she was a senior at Western Alamance High School.
I was trying to find a school where I could do track and do film at the same time. So ever since I was kind of in middle school, I've been really into YouTube, but it wasn't until I got to high school that people told me that I could actually go to school to do film. There's something about the idea that you could film whatever you wanted for almost little to nothing and then get this huge following and then be able to create your own brand out of it.
A big fan of Broadway musicals, Dickerson originally set her sights on the production side of the film industry, but has gravitated to analyzing films and their impact off the screen.
I used to be a theater kid, so musicals are like my favorite. If you play a show tune, I will break out into song and dance. I don't like being in front of the camera, so for films, I'm more behind the scenes. I've actually moved more into the critical studies side, so that's kind of like breaking films apart, figuring out how films work and what makes films good. So I've kind of really gotten into the theory of film, as into like, why do people enjoy watching films so much, and then taking individual films and kind of looking at them as a case study as to why people watch movies. My dad always said that he could see me as a teacher, which I laughed at. But it was only like until recently I thought of being a film professor. So I really like the idea of being a professor because it gives me the opportunity to teach new voices. So help encourage people to find their own voice through film.
Dickerson was one of 4 students nationally who recently delivered a presentation during a unique conference being sponsored by UNCW's undergraduate students, the Vision's 8 Film Festival and Conference.
And my paper is about the War of the Planet of the Apes reboot trilogy. My paper focuses on the main character, Caesar, and who is a CGI ape, but is performed by Andy Serkis. And my paper looks at the character and trying to figure out where he fits in onto how people view animals on the screen and why we believe that it's an actual ape, even though we know it's being performed by a person.
And Alexis was chosen as one of the top papers to present. So Alexis, as you know, is a very, very, very intelligent girl with a bright future. And it really is an interesting mix of film studies research and new media studies research. And I think it's really cutting edge stuff, and we're proud of her.
On the track, Dickerson, the team's only thrower, hopes to achieve PRs in her events of the discus and shot put and close out her career with a strong showing at the CAA Championships in Williamsburg.
I'm really hoping to hit some PRs. I know that's everyone on this team, we're trying to hit some PRs. On the women's side, we kind of have this goal of trying to get more points than we did last year. So I know, especially we had a kind of a low point for the women's side last year. So the goal is this year is definitely try and hit that number out of the park.
She's the type of person, when she sets her mind to something, she's going to do it, you know, one way or another, or eventually she's going to get it done. So she's just one of those personalities that you get used to having around all the time, and it'll be boring a little bit without her around, honestly. But just her leadership, I mean, she's been one of our stronger leaders for several years, and you know, who's going to take over that role is going to be, you know, up for debate right now. So we're going to definitely miss that aspect. So yeah.
Definitely looking back, it has been challenging, but knowing that I'm about to graduate You know, I'm about to compete in my last conference, and knowing that I've gone through all these things, you know, I'm about to present a film paper at a conference. You know, having all these things, all these challenges has made it so much more rewarding at the very end.